All right, this is why I believe that placement and accuracy is king when it comes to being able to have full control of your quarterback. You're going to be able to throw money plays like this. Let's see if we can get this money play off. But this is what separates placement and accuracy from pretty much revamped, because revamped is probably the second best. But to be able to lead this away from that safety and then have no cornerback help, this is what freeform is going to allow you to do. First things first, let's go ahead and jump into the settings and show y'all everything that I'm using with placement and accuracy. Now, passing slowdown is something you can do offline, and this actually can help you get better if you put this on, either slight, moderate, or max. Now, and when we're in practice mode, I'm going to be having this on max to give you a better visual of everything that I'm doing when I'm releasing the power, when I'm actually going to start freeforming, all that good stuff. So I am going to have it on max, but again, you cannot use this online. Now, pass lead increase on small, reticle speed at 5. You can go higher if you want, but you don't need any more than either one of these, small or 5, especially with all the money plays that I do. Now, basically, the reticle speed is how fast the icon is going to move underneath the wide receiver, depending on which direction you're going to be leading the ball. You don't need anything more than 5. And then the pass lead increase is basically how far it's going to allow you to move that reticle. Again, you do not need any more than small. And you're going to see, even with small, we can still lead this pretty far from our wide receiver. If you master placement accuracy, by all means, go higher. But for everything that I do on my channel, you don't need anything more than small and anything more than 5. Another thing that I'm going to do is actually go to my accessibilities, and where is it? Is it actually this? Where is it? Okay, yeah, the enlarged field graphics. Now, this is something you actually can have online. Me personally, once you get used to the placement accuracy, turn this off because it can get away, and it can get in the way, and there's gonna be times where it might cover up a defender and you don't see them, and they could probably pick the ball off. But when you're practicing, you want to turn this on. Again, I'm doing this so y'all can get a better visual. So we are gonna turn this on. And yes, you can have this on when you're playing online. So that's going to be my settings. Let's go ahead and jump to the practice field and show y'all how to make these passes. First, we're going to show y'all what a perfect pass looks like, and then we're going to jump into the passing meter and break down everything so you can get a better understanding of what you're looking at when you see the power meter. And then we're going to get into freeform and explain when to freeform and all that good stuff. But this is what it looks like to make a perfect pass. We got a baby blue right there with the freeform. But let's jump into the power meter and break this down for y'all. All right, so this is what your passing meter is going to look like. So let's kind of break it down. So the first notch, you're going to have a lob pass. If you release it anywhere between the beginning and that first black notch, you're going to get a lob. Between the two black notches, you're going to get a touch pass. And anything past that second black notch is going to be considered a bullet pass. And then you're going to see that we have two larger white lines and also the smaller white line with the triangle. Now, the smaller white line with the triangle is going to be our power, and as it's going up, this is where we're going to release the ball. Now, the white line at the very end, the larger one, is always going to be there. The second white line is where we're going to want to release before, as close as we can before. Some quarterbacks can actually get it on the larger white line. If you start getting past it or you go too far away from it is when you start getting your oranges, your yellow throws, or your reds. So you want to try to release as close as possible. As we're on the practice field, just pay attention to where I'm releasing it, and that's basically where you're going to want to be releasing this ball. Now, there's going to be some quarterbacks that only have one large white line, and it's going to be at the very end. What that means is you're going to want to release before you get to that white line as close as you can, and that'll give you the best available bullet pass with that specific quarterback. But for the most part, if you're throwing a simple pass, you're going to get both of the large white lines, and you're going to want to get as close as you can to the first one, preferably in front of it. All right, so now that you have an idea of when to release this ball, now we want to add in some freeform. So again, you want to try to release before that larger white line as close as you can. Now, just because you don't get that perfect spot doesn't mean you're not going to get a decent pass, but if you can get the timing down, especially if you use the same quarterback over and over again, you can master that quarterback's timing and everything can just come easy to you. But now let's talk about when to freeform. So right there, I released it a little bit too much before that first line that we would want to. but we still got a decent pass. Now, if we try to release there and also freeform, the pass might not be as good. But what I want you to pay attention to is when my reticle actually starts moving for a freeform, it's going to be after I finish the power meter. So do not touch that left stick or left trigger until you release the power meter. So it's going to look something like this. You're going to see the power meter finishes, and then we move our right stick to where we want to freeform it. Now, if I would have did the same thing but released before that first line, we would have probably got a blue, which I want to try to actually get done for y'all right here. So again, let the power meter finish and then start moving it. Now we should get a blue right here, and it's going to be the best possible lead pass to that outside shoulder. And that's how I primarily run that money play right there. And I get a lot of y'all asking, are you lobbing this money play or are you throwing a bullet pass? 100% it's a bullet pass. But this goes with anything. Like, let's say we want to put B on a corner route. No, that's not the corner route I would want. But let's just throw a regular pass to him first. We just, say there's no cornerback over there, no safety help. You don't have to freeform it at all. But let's say that there's a cornerback over the top, so we want to get this ball a little bit lower. So again, we're going to finish our power meter, then move the bar down. Then we're going to move our left trigger and our left stick down with the freeform. Same thing if there's a cornerback playing really shallow and we want to move this over the top to get some better distance between us, finish the power meter, then move it. And right there, I actually started moving the freeform before I finished the power meter, and we got a bad pass. So that's a good example of when not to use the freeform. We did it too early there. Finish the power meter, then move it. And you can see now we actually get a green with the similar pass that we just threw, but we got an orange because we were moving the freeform before we finished the power meter. Again, that goes with any type of pass, though. If we want to throw to the inside shoulder with A, first I'm just going to show you a regular pass. We kind of overthrew it right there. And sometimes it could be as simple as barely overthrowing it with that power meter, and you can get a red right there. So that's why it's actually really important that you throw or release before you get to that first larger white bar. So let's see if we can get it actually at this time. That time and look at the difference. It wasn't even that much of a difference between when I released that time and the time before that. It was a baby blue to a red, and that's literally one more notch of me holding down that power meter. So that's important. That's how important it is to make sure you get that timing down. But right there, I freeformed before I wanted to, so we got an orange. Now let's make sure that the power meter is actually done and then freeform. So we're gonna freeform after it's done, and now we got a blue. But that time I over exaggerated how much I freeformed. So if you don't need to freeform that much, you don't need to use left trigger. You can just do it with the left stick, and you won't get those overthrows. See, same exact pass. The only difference is the first time I was using left trigger. The second time it was just the left stick. So you got to know when to use the left stick and when to use the left trigger. Basically, anything under 30, you do not need to use the left trigger. You can still get a good lead. You can see we're moving them from the middle of the field to the left side of the field. But if anything past 25 to 30 yards, that's when we can use the left trigger, and that's going to allow us to freeform a lot more. You can see my freeform did not move until that power meter was done. But this is basically how you master freeform. I think the best way to do it is go into a dynasty and work with the quarterback that you like to use a lot, and just use freeform. Get the hang of it. Like right here, this is just a regular pass to the outside, right? But this is why I think freeform is one of the best settings that you can choose when it comes to passing. Now, if I wanted to finish the power meter, but now we can lead this up and he can actually catch it on the run. Now, that was probably one of those passes I didn't need left trigger, so let's try to actually do that again. And every quarterback is different. You're just going to have to figure out what works better for you. That time, he actually did catch it on the run a little bit, but I think we took too long to throw that. Let's actually try to get a good one right here. We'll throw it a little bit sooner. Then I can lead it forward, and he can actually catch it on the run. Now, that's something you can actually do with Classic or even Revamp. That's something that's not just something that favors placement and accuracy. But 100%, the money plays that I throw with a fade route like this, your best bet is going to be placement and accuracy. I actually might have. Okay, that was actually perfect right there. I thought I threw. I thought I freeformed before I actually released that power meter. But this is what you're going to want to do. Go to practice mode. Make your icons bigger. Slow down your passing settings. And get familiar with your quarterback. When's the best time to release with them? And I guarantee you will start throwing way better. If you watch my lives or you watch my gameplay videos with Arkansas State, the quarterback is not the greatest, but I can throw greens with him left and right on the run, in the pocket. It doesn't matter because I just got so used to how his power meter works, when to release it, and all that good stuff.